This is your mom's favorite show, Beer and Chill podcast. My name is Jan,
And I'm Craig.
and we would really appreciate if you would stop by and listen to our show. We are talking about interesting facts about your favorite movies, games, and TV shows.
For example, did you know that Christopher Lee and Ian McKellen had a real-life beef because Christopher Lee wanted to play Gandalf in Lord of the Rings?
And many other great facts.
We hope you check us out and enjoy the rest of your show. Bye-bye.
What's your favorite scary movie?
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
We were attacked by a lycanthrope, a werewolf.
Your suffering will be legendary even in hell.
They're here.
Welcome, victims, to the Horr-Gasm podcast. Kill the lights, lock the doors, get comfy, and prepare for the sexiest and scariest podcast around. I'm Nick, and with me is my co-host, Allie.
We're back.
We are finally back.
Back.
So first thing,
Guess who's back?
fuck Saskatchewan winter.
Back again.
It's too goddamn cold,
Allie's back.
and so is Nick.
Tell a friend.
So, yeah. I've
Yeah.
not been happy with this weather. Like, your car hasn't been starting. My car hasn't been starting.
Nope. It's just, it happens every year. So you'd think that you'd be ready to deal with it.
Yes.
It's like, just like winter driving here. It's like, the ice, the snow, we all get used to it. But as soon as there's a snowfall, there's like
Yeah.
dozens of accidents a day.
Yep. It's goofy.
Yeah, I don't know. No matter what you do, plug in your car and park in a garage and everything, my car's still grumpy, regardless.
Yeah.
Annoying. But, and now with us not living together anymore, now it's like, we have to commute a bit to do this. And of course, because before it would just be like who cares about a car?
Yeah.
We live in the same house.
Exactly.
Just do it anytime. No. Damn it, Canada. Saskatchewan.
Yeah. I guess, like, right now, we're colder than, like, Antarctica.
Yeah, I posted on Instagram just a screenshot of like Apple weather or whatever, and it was like minus 36 or 37 that day, and minus 47 I think with the wind chill, and people are like, no, that's not real, and I'm like, no, this has been 2
yes.
weeks straight.
I was out those nights working in it.
Yes.
And it just, when you instinctively, when it's cold, you kind of hunch up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, next day off of, when I had my days off, my neck was fucked. And it's still iffy.
Absolutely.
This is almost a week later.
Jeez. Yeah, my mom went for a massage, and her massage therapist said that she sees a lot more people this time of year exactly because of that, because when you're cold, you hunch up.
Yeah.
And so she's like, everybody is so sore and tight in their shoulders. So, you go and get a massage or whatever, but yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know how we survive as humans in this, honestly.
Us
Like,
Canadians,
it's insane.
We Canadians, we're tougher. We're made of sterner stuff.
Yes, obviously.
100%.
Like, it's bizarre that just like when you, like, I just let my dog out. We just paused for a sec so I could let my dog out. And she's out for like 15, 20 seconds and freezes. All four of her legs freeze. Like, it's not even enough time for her to use the washroom. It's
Silly
just
dog.
crazy. Oh, and I saw a girl on TikTok too, because I'm on TikTok always, and she was from Saskatchewan, where we are, and she made a bowl of ramen and went outside to eat it and pulled it up and held it for like, I think it was 45 seconds, and then put her hands away, and the chopsticks and the ramen were frozen. Yes.
That's so cool.
Isn't that crazy?
That makes sense.
God damn, winter.
Enough of the classic talking about weather. This
My favorite
month,
topic.
This month we're doing werewolf movies. It's Werewolf month.
Ow.
Werewolf in London. Oh, I am. You know what? I'm gonna throw it in there somewhere, some way, somehow. I'm gonna have that in there in our opening or something.
Oh, yeah?
I'll add it in post. It's gonna be in there.
Nice.
Remind me.
Okay.
If I forget.
Hey, future Alana and Nick. Oh, yeah. there's not a lot of werewolf movies out there.
There's
like
not, there's not a lot of,
specifically werewolf.
There's not a lot of good
Also that.
werewolf movies out there.
Also that.
There's like, there's I think of all of them, of the vampire, witches, well, even witches are pretty low, but of, vampires, monsters, all that.
Yeah.
Werewolves are kind of low on the list. There's
Very
not a lot.
low.
I know there's a few that are really well loved, like An American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good about Dog Soldiers.
Interesting.
People,
Okay.
online, people are saying, Dog Soldiers is one of the best werewolves. I'm like, cool, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
I've heard of it, but I think it's actually on one of my lists of like things to watch.
Yeah.
But there was a it was a creep show, I think, about sort of something like, I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but they turn into werewolves and like the war, basically.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of the Trick or Treat short with the girls who become werewolves.
No, not that. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
But I think it was Creep Show or one of the new ones that are out. I'll have to look into it. I'll look into it when we pause to talk about the movie. But yeah, it was really interesting. And like everybody treats them differently. Like they call them like dogs and stuff, obviously. But they're like, when none of the things are working or they're starting to get overwhelmed, then they change them. Yeah. And they go and fuck shit up. Mm-hmm. And it was really interesting. But, And
again, like you said, also like vampires, werewolves have rules.
Yes,
right. You're bitten by a werewolf, you become one.
Right.
It usually, because you get bit on a full moon, you get the whole 1 month cycle until you turn. But you feel yourself, changing as it goes on.
Yes.
Some movies, classic ones were more strictly, you're there for the full moon, you're a werewolf, and then you're normal until then.
Right,
again.
exactly.
And when you become werewolf, you lose all sense. You become an animal, a beast.
Right.
Other movies like Underworld.
Mm-hmm.
They have more control over when they can turn. They still turn to full moon, but they can also turn when they don't want to.
Were they werewolves though?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
They call them lycans.
I was going to say, I thought they called them lycans.
Same thing.
Is it the same thing? Okay, for sure.
Lycanthropy is a werewolf.
Oh, okay.
And then also, I'm trying to think of another. There's a bunch. There's just rules. Even the one we watched today, Ginger Snaps.
Yes.
They kind of changed up a bit again.
Which is interesting.
It was a very, very interesting, well received, but it's also whacked.
Yeah,
it's was. Also, I've seen it, and it's a very wacky movie.
It wasn't at all what I was expecting. I'll just say that. It was, like I was saying before we started, it was like if Degrassi and like a horror movie had a baby. It was like I know it's a horror movie and it was kind of risque, but it felt like it was trained towards a teenager.
Yes, I was gonna say it's a very, very teen themed.
It's like, oh, they're so angsty and they don't fit in, and there's the popular kids making fun of them, and it's like, okay, I've seen this without the werewolves. Yes. But I've seen this trope 100 times before. Yeah. And it wasn't bad. It was just not what I was expecting, I think.
It also, like we were talking about earlier, how it takes the theme of young women going through puberty, getting their periods, all that. They're changing, their bodies are changing.
Right.
They threw the same scenario with becoming a werewolf.
Right.
Their bodies are changing. They're becoming different.
Yes.
Urges start popping up.
Yeah.
And that happens to the main character, Ginger, in this.
Right.
And it's...
And when she's describing her symptoms to, parents and counselors and teachers and stuff, they're like, oh, you're just becoming a woman. And she's like, I don't think so, guys. I really don't think so.
There's that scene where she's talking to the guidance counselor after, I think she bleeds or something. Something happens. And she gives all these symptoms of her being a werewolf.
Yes.
She's bleeding. That's normal. It's really thick. That's normal. It's okay. And she's so happy for the good girl.
Yeah.
And she says, well, what about hair? And her sister's trying to get as much info out without being.
Yes.
Like, what about hair? New hair is normal. That's expected.
Yeah.
And then Ginger kind of gives her a shove, not where.
Yeah.
Which it was not what you think it is. And it's just funny.
Yes. Yeah, it's good. It's interesting. Yeah, how, they liken it to, like, becoming a woman or whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, the part where she starts to get, like, hot and heavy with that one guy. And then, they're just, like, getting all steamy in the back seat. And then she, like, rips into him. And I was like, oh.
Yep.
That's a thing. And it's just, it's not what you expect. Because, like, you almost start to think, you're like, oh, nothing happened maybe. It's just, until the tail part. But you're like, oh, maybe she's just literally going through changes or something, right?
Yeah.
But no. Nay.
Yeah. Her sister kind of really, she picks up right away.
Yes, for sure.
But her sister's like, whatever, it's nothing. You don't know nothing. I'm cooler than you now. There's a big social, shift here.
Yeah, and because, like, they had always had each other, and now Ginger is, dressing differently and acting differently.
They would die together. They would.
Yes.
And it's funny how when Ginger has her period, they call it the curse or something.
Yes.
Or got the death mark or something.
Yes.
It's so funny. They're so against growing up.
Yes,
They're happy just being kind of prepubescent girls.
Yeah.
Now we're about boys, just about dark death and gothiness.
Which is awesome.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Which is awesome.
Nothing wrong with that.
As I'm wearing a Spider t-shirt and Jack Skellington earrings.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you know what? It reminds me, I actually watched another movie. It was just out on Netflix. It's called All My Friends Are Dead.
I heard about that.
Yep. I didn't love it, but the story was very similar. It's a bunch of teenagers at a party, and, like, everyone dies at the party, basically, which is why it's called All My Friends Are Dead. Oh. And, like, that's not a spoiler, because they open on the scene of everybody being dead, but then they, like, reverse into the night, and you see how everything happens. And it was like a horror comedy. But I think, I'm not even sure where it was from. It wasn't English. Like, I watched it dubbed.
Oh, yeah.
But it was maybe French or something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah. And it was like it was kind of funny, but, like, just ridiculous. Like, it starts as everybody, like, accidentally killing each other. And then intentionally killing each other, and it was bizarre. Like, it was a little too bizarre and far-fetched, but it was the same sort of a feel of that, like, teenager, like, killing each other sort of thing. And I was thinking of it when I was like, this is sort of kind of like Ginger Snaps, like, with the same like, angst. There's the angsty kids, and, they're trying to get with each other's boyfriends and girlfriends, and they're cheating, and oh my God. Yeah, it was crazy. But it was fine. It was just, I don't know. I feel like some of the dubbing was not the best, but that happens.
It does. It's
right. It's kind of hit and miss with dubs,
yeah.
Especially when it's live action. I always think, like, cartoons, you can almost get away with a bit more because you can cut pieces. But yeah, the live action's a little rough. But
whatever.
Meh. It was still fun.
Oh, good.
Yes, but should we get into actually talking about Ginger Snaps?
I think we should snap into Ginger Snaps.
Woohoo!
Oh my God!
All right, so this week we watched Ginger Snaps. It's a 2000 movie, and it was directed by John Fawcett, written by Karen Walton and John Fawcett.
Nice.
Nice.
Where were you when you heard about this movie?
I don't remember hearing about it, but, like, I've heard of the movie Ginger Snaps before, and I forget where, but it just kind of, like, so this movie came out in 2000, so I was 9. So it's not like I was looking for movies.
16?
Sure.
I was 16.
It's about right, yeah. And So, like, I just remember it always being around, like, oh, have you seen Ginger Snaps? And, like, oh, it's such a scary movie. And when I was watching it now, I'm like, but is it? But it's interesting how, we've talked about it before, how opinions and, things change. Because it's rated 18A.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, for what?
I think
For what?
language and violence.
Oh, language. Yeah, I feel that.
Because there's no nudity that I can think of.
No, I don't, because they're teenagers, I don't think there is.
Well, no, like when they're acting, like when,
Right.
like they're of age.
Right.
Plus, Catherine Isabella, who plays Ginger,
Yeah.
refuses to do any nude scenes.
Right.
Like she is
Yeah.
firm on that. When they hired her on for Freddy vs. Jason
Yeah.
as the one character, she auditioned for I think the one love interest.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What for you is this?" And she's like, "Oh, okay," but they didn't tell her that there was a nude scene required.
Oh.
And when that brought up, she's like, "What the fuck is this? You get a body double or I'm out." They're
Yeah.
like, okay. So they threw a body double in there. So she is not in all the movies she's been open nude in. That's not her.
Interesting. Well, that's good. Stand by.
I
Some
agree.
people are like that. Yeah, and that's totally fine.
That is completely fine. If you're
Yeah.
not comfortable, if you want to keep yourself to yourself and to people who want to see you naked,
Yeah.
all to you.
All the more power.
I didn't know that. I thought that was her naked, and some guys or girls don't
Yeah.
realize that it wasn't her, and they could care less. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I see boobs. I see a butt. Awesome."
Totally. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it's just an actor's choice. And I always like, I'm also, big, supporter of sex workers and stuff. Like, if that's your bag, get your bag. But, if you want to keep your modesty to yourself as well, that's fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Do it then.
That's right.
Yeah. And, people need to be understanding. So.
And she's not the first actress or actor, I'm sure, to had like a body double for nude scenes, and
No.
she won't be the last.
No. Yeah, it's totally a thing.
I know Elijah Dushku was the same way, except she
Yes.
finally caved. I think she had like a side boob scene or something.
Yes.
You saw a little bit, nothing full frontal, but there was like a very, very, very brief topless scene that she was in a movie years ago.
Sure.
Nothing major.
Yeah.
Just a little, blink and you'll miss it kind of thing.
Yes. It's lots of those like stars that do teenage sort of things, that they as they're growing up almost they pressure them into it's sort of a way to shed that child
shed your
image.
youth, and show that you can be an adult.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you get actresses like, what's her name from The Fifth Element?
Mila Jovovich.
Yes, she has no shame whatsoever.
No.
That girl, she shows any and everything.
She probably writes it into the movies like I have to be naked.
During the commentary of Resident Evil, the first one,
Yeah.
At the end when she's on the lab, she's just wearing just a sheet kind of taped
Yeah.
to front and back. She slides off, and in the commentary, she said, "Oh, snatch shot," and I'm like, "What?" So me being the curious fellow that I am, I rewind and I pause, like, "Oh, sure enough, right there."
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
because again, it's very quick. You'll blink, you'll miss it, but
Yeah.
she has no shame of showing off her body. She's got a great body. If you
Yeah.
got it,
May as well.
yeah, flaunt
Got
it.
it, flaunt it. Yeah,
you go.
exactly. Good for her.
Yep.
I love her. I love
do
Mila
too. I
Jovovich.
really do.
I'll
She's
watch almost anything she's in just because of.
She's going to be in Monster Hunter coming out
Yes.
this year. That
Yes.
looks okay.
Yeah,
They got some
tentatively
kind of,
okay.
Yeah, tentatively it looks okay. I'm reserving judgment yet because I guess they have modern era into it at
Yes,
the beginning, but then,
right.
but I think they go more of a classic classic game. Weapons. Like with the swords, the spears, all that later on. So
Yeah.
they fix it. I think they fix it mid-movie.
You know what would make a good horror movie? Dino Crisis. I love those games.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I would love those.
I'd love a remake.
Yeah.
Because they've been redoing Resident Evil 2 and 3. I would love a good Dino Crisis 1 or 2 remake.
Right?
I have them both for my PS1. But
Yes. I have them too. I love those games so much.
so much fun.
Yeah. So where did you hear about that?
I love these tangents. When it kind of first came out, I remember the trailer for it. Never saw it in theaters. And then it was on AMC, which we had like a trial for a while at our
Sure.
place. And I recorded it and watched it. Now, it's been a while since I watched it last, so I don't
Sure.
remember the whole details. But I remember watching, like, this is good. This is interesting.
Yeah.
This is fucked.
Yeah.
But I like it. And then I
Yeah.
totally forgot about it. I think I taped over it.
Yeah,
But
totally.
yeah, I know this always keeps being brought up when it comes to werewolf movies, and it's just one of the sleeper hits.
Yeah. It really, yeah. Isn't it? Now, I might be wrong. Isn't it Canadian?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, that's why I was like, I'm sure that this is a Canadian
Oh,
movie.
yeah. This is very, very, very Canadian.
Very
It was,
Canadian. Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was filmed, but it was a budget of 4.5 million, although it did a horrible box office.
Of course.
But the DVD sales and everything made up for it.
Right.
And it spawned one sequel to theaters and a made-for-DVD sequel.
Interesting.
Prequel.
What
So-
was the sequel about? Just
Ginger Snaps Back.
because, like,
I forget. It's been a while. I don't know if I've even seen the sequel.
okay, because I was like, just thinking about the end of the movie, I'm not sure where they could go after that, but
Yeah, I think the sequel is like it happens right before Ginger Snaps.
okay.
Apparently, that's right. I think that's how it happens.
Okay.
And then the prequel is like the same character. They're like their descendants,
I see.
way back in like the 1800s or something.
Because we don't find out who the vampire is that actually bit her, do we?
No, I don't believe we do.
No, I don't think we do. So I guess you could kind of do something like that, but
Yeah. The filming was a little over 6 weeks, and it was in 3 of Toronto's suburbs: Etobicoke, Brampton, and
Yeah.
Scarborough.
awesome. So all Ontario, hey?
Yeah, Ontario.
Nice.
I thought it was more like Nova Scotia,
Sure.
kind of, just because of the feel. But I guess Ontario sounds right too.
Right, yeah, just East Coasty.
And it's also filmed for October.
Right.
So.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. It was, well, that's good that it's a nice Canadian film.
Oh yeah. Should we go through the cast?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we have Emily Perkins starring as Bridget Fitzgerald. Mm-hmm. She's younger sister of Ginger.
Yes. She
Catherine
does such a good job. The sisters in this do such a good job.
and they went on to have good careers.
Okay.
They went on.
I
and
didn't even
did-
look at their.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, they've done fairly well.
Awesome. That's really good.
Yeah. Catherine Isabel as Ginger Fitzgerald, the older sister of Bridget. Chris Lemich as Sam, a drug dealer who uses his work at the county regreening program greenhouse as a double for to sell marijuana.
Yay.
So he's a
Yeah.
druggie. Now I didn't realize this. Mimi Rogers
Oh.
as Pamela Fitzgerald, the mum.
Oh, okay.
I didn't recognize her at all.
Me neither.
That's good acting.
Interesting.
Jesse Moss as Jason McCarty. He's a student with Ginger and Bridget.
Yeah.
Daniel Hampton as Trina Sinclair. She's like the school bitch.
Yes. Yeah. The bully-ish
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
John Bergeroy as Henry Fitzgerald, the dad. Peter Callahan as Mr. Wayne. He's one of the teachers.
Yes. Yep.
He's like a jerk.
Yes.
He's a jerk.
Yeah. He's rude.
Then we got Christopher Redmond as Ben, another student. Jimmy McInnes as Tim, another student. Lindsay Lease as Nurse Fairy.
Yep. That's the nurse that I think they're talking to, and she's talking about something's wrong with her.
Yes. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's
Good
the
cast. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good cast.
No, like, huge names at the time, but that, still nice.
Yeah.
Executive producer agrees. She
Yes.
loves a good Canadian cast.
She's doing her best werewolf impression right now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Cheering on a victim.
Yeah, the squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel sort of bad for this movie because it came out in 2000, right before the, like, rush of, those, like, teenagey sort of horror movies that came out. Like the the like 2004 to 8 was sort of like a huge time for horror movies. Sort of
Yes.
like a resurgence.
Yes.
And it sucks that this movie missed that sort of time because I think it really would have fit in well.
It would have, yeah.
You know, and I think that that's part of the reason why it didn't do as great is because it was just sort of before that those like House of Wax and sort of things kind of started to take off.
And also, I'm sure like the distribution was
Yes,
like limited theaters.
of course. As 18A, there's no way.
Yeah, well, also
way.
just like I don't think it has as big of a release in the States as it was in Canada.
Absolutely.
So I think it was shown at the Toronto Film.
I was gonna say at the Toronto Film Festival. Yeah, it feels like the kind of movie that it would be. Because it is, honestly, for what it is, it's very artsy.
Oh, yeah.
And, very deep. Like, there's so many layers to it, which is something that I did love about it. And, female empowerment and, using your body and your sexuality and all that. Like, it's really interesting how they did it.
Yeah.
But
It's funny when they were doing the first, the opening kind of video picture montage, when they're filming that, they're using someone's house. And someone's daughter lived there when they had the girls who were always in like makeup of fake blood. They had to distract the daughter.
Oh,
she wouldn't see 'cause she gets scared or traumatized.
Aww.
That's kind of funny.
I loved the beginning montage with the credits though, like
yeah.
because one that they did for a school project, like they showed all their like a bunch of death scenes and stuff.
Yep, how they died.
It was
Just
cool.
a bunch of different deaths.
I would have loved to be like that cool in high
Oh
school.
yeah. Oh yeah. But they weren't so cool. I think they were cool.
Yeah.
But they would have been, teased, tormented.
Of
You're
course.
freaks.
Yeah.
Sadly. So although nowadays it's a lot different.
Yeah. Well, the goth kids are. So I graduated in 2009. So like, still early, like the knots, and like the goth kids were always super cool. Like everybody liked them. I don't know. They're just like so mysterious.
Yes.
I remember my one friend, she kind of started to befriend the goth kids, and one of them was like, "Oh, you're just so pretty. I just want to gouge your eyes out." And she was like, "That's so sweet." And I'm like, "Are you okay?" Is that a compliment? I don't
think that was a
understand.
compliment.
Yeah, right. And now I'm like, "Aw." Oh, people are wild.
I'd rip your heart out and present it to you in a present, like
Isn't
in a
that
basket.
nice? We'll just Edgar Allan Poe this shit.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Oh my gosh.
I'd use my intestines to strangle your enemies. Come on.
And then use the rest of them to wrap the heart in a present.
That's right.
Make a nice little bow.
A flesh box.
Just Ed Gein that shit. Oh my god.
From my victims to you.
Love Horr-Gasm. Oh my god. Okay, plot.
Okay, plot.
Are we on the plot? I think we're on the plot.
Best Valentine's Day ever.
Right?
All right, so in Bailey Downs, a rash of dog killings has been occurring. Which, as we see at the beginning, it's pretty, like,
Yes.
right off the bat, well, we always talk about how we see a dog, it's dead.
Yes.
We don't even see this dog alive.
Right.
He's dead right off the bat. This poor pupper.
Yeah.
There's a couple more.
Yeah, but they're pretty good with how they show, because I always hate, as soon as you see dogs in horror movies, like I've switched horror movies off when I saw dogs because I'm like, nope, not today, Satan. No. But yeah, they don't show a lot of the dog deaths. Thank God.
You just see the result. That's all you see.
Right, exactly.
So, Bridget and Ginger Fitzgerald are teenage sisters who harbor a fascination with death and, as children, formed a pact to move out of their suburb or die together by the age of 16. Mm-hmm. That's a cool little thing they got there.
Yep.
One night, while on the way to kidnap a dog owned by school bully Trina Sinclair, and this also, it shows them for this, they're in school.
Yeah.
They're always together,
Yes.
smoking during gym.
Yeah.
The boys are kind of oogling at Ginger because she's got boobs now.
Yeah.
And the one, the bully girl, she's just a dick to him. And she knocks Bridget down playing field hockey. And, yeah.
Like,
It's,
for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
she's just being a bag for no reason.
yeah.
Ugh. So
And
they're
then-
like, fuck that bitch. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to go steal her dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make her scared. So
Exactly,
scared.
yeah.
Yeah.
One night following their way to a dog, and Ginger begins her first period. The scent of blood results in the girls being attacked by the creature responsible for the maulings. The creature bites and wounds Ginger, and Bridget rescues her. As the girls flee, the creature is run over by a van belonging to Sam Miller, a local drug dealer.
Yes.
And this is rough. This is a very drawn-out attack.
Yes.
It grabs her, pulls her away. Bridget's trying to, find her. She finds her again. She gets bitten, slashed, clawed, and dragged away again.
Yes.
Bridget chases her again.
Yeah.
And also, Bridget's got a thing for taking pictures.
Right.
And her camera kind of goes off and gets the werewolf, and it runs off.
Right.
And Bridget picks up Ginger. They're trying to run away. Mm-hmm. It turns around, starts to chase them. They cross a road, avoiding a van,
Right.
and Sam hits the werewolf,
Right.
just
Yep.
smushing him.
Yes.
So they go, they get home, and she's trying to take care of Ginger. She thinks she's dying.
Yes.
And she's like, this is impossible. They're healing up already. She's like, I don't care. Just wash it off.
Yeah.
Help. Following the attack, Ginger undergoes transformations that concern Bridget. Ginger's wounds heal quickly, and she soon starts to behave aggressively, particularly in a sexual way. Grow hair from her scars, sprout a tail, and menstruate heavily.
Yes.
And this is funny how her sisters, basically they have a big falling out because
Right.
Ginger's changing. Bridget is trying to help her, but also she's being kind of the big suck, you could say.
Exactly.
Kind of like, she's kind of being a downer.
Yes. Because Ginger's kind of, acting different and like she doesn't
Yeah.
need her per se anymore and doing things on her own when they've always done things together.
And this one boy that was kind of, leering at her, she starts hanging around with him,
Yes.
kiss making out with him. Yeah, it's... Yeah. It's interesting.
It is interesting, yeah. And nobody really knows, like they think, she's just coming into herself sort of type thing, Nobody actually knows what's going on except Bridget.
Yeah, and she's kind of, going through all the... She's like always like spying on her sister.
Right.
Like they have the same room to sleep in the basement. And Ginger's sleeping, and Bridget kind of goes and checks on Ginger, and she pulls her panties down a little bit, and there's a little tail sticking out above her butt.
Yes.
And she freaks out, hops in bed, and just like, oh no. So, ignoring Bridget's warnings, Ginger has unprotected sex with her classmate named Jason McCarty. Furiously beats Trina in public and kills a neighbor's dog.
Yes.
And this is cool how it starts with, I think, Trina, she gets kind of rough, because we see Sam, the drug dealer, who Trina's trying to get some weed off all the time, and he ignores her.
Yeah.
He and Bridget start hanging out,
Yeah.
and he seems kind of, in the loop too. He knows some shit's going on, and she's confiding to him, but she doesn't tell his Ginger. She says it's herself. And so her and Sam are trying to kind of figure this out. Trina gets jealous and cross-checks Bridget during the field hockey, and
Yes.
Ginger just beats the fuck out of her.
Like,
takes her down and just starts feeding her.
Goes to town. Oh my god.
And then later on, she and Jason go and they go hook up in his car. And it's very aggressive on Ginger's part. And then she comes inside after, and Bridget's like, what happened? Did you do it? She's like, yeah. And you hear Ginger go to the bathroom and throw up.
Yes.
It's like, what's going on? What happened? It's like, well, I kind of couldn't control myself. And you think,
Yes.
oh, she killed Jason.
Right.
No, she killed her dog.
Right.
And she ate it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's puking up, all the blood and all the parts, and she's just having a rough time.
Yeah.
And this is when Bridget kind of gets to her, like, we got to get this looked
Figured
at.
out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, which is sort of like what she, so then she kind of like tells Sam that, like, what's sort of going on, but she says that she's the one that's the werewolf, like
Yeah.
Bridget.
Yeah.
And so Sam is like, okay, like, so he's like they're kind of sort of researching it together this whole time, which is why they kind of started to become friends.
Yeah.
It's because of this whole thing.
And she was trying to protect her sister too.
Exactly, for
Bridget,
sure.
Bridget's a good sister.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And also we find out that in a different kind of way to get transmitted to be a werewolf, unprotected sex turns Jason into a werewolf. He starts getting the symptoms. He starts bleeding from his dick, which is hilarious.
Yes.
That's funny. Like he comes to the field and the guy's like, "Hey, I see. What did you hook up with Ginger?" Like, "Oh yeah, she is an animal."
Yeah.
Like, really, you got some of her shit on ya. He looks down. He's got like a little bit of blood spot on his pants. Oh shit.
Yes.
And runs to the bathroom. See him peeing.
Yeah.
And blood comes out.
Yes.
And he freaks out.
Yes.
He freaks out. He's got fucking blood on his pants. He's
Yes.
yelling at Bridget and Ginger for whatever, and he takes off.
Yes. Ugh. Jeez. But that would be scary, like, if you have no idea what's going on and you just start peeing blood.
Oh, I'd be scared.
Yeah. Ugh.
So Bridget finds Sam for information on what he hit, and they both agree that Ginger was attacked by a werewolf and is transforming into one. Yeah, I think Bridget finally gets, it's not me, it's Sam. At Sam's suggestion, Bridget tries a silver ring piercing treatment on Ginger, but it proves to be ineffective. Sam then suggests infusing monk's hood extract,
Yes.
which is impossible to create as the plant is only found in the spring. Trina shows up at the Fitzgerald house to accuse Ginger of kidnapping her dog. As she fights with Ginger, Trina is accidentally killed.
Yes.
She just kind of trips on like something and cracks her head hard against a countertop and is basically brain dead. She's dead. The sisters narrowly avoid their parents while hiding the body in a freezer.
Oh, that's so good. When so their mom goes down to the basement where they keep their deep freeze, and and that's obviously where they threw Trina's body. And so Bridget's like freaking out, and she's like, "Oh, Mom," and starts talking to her. And so her mom opens the freezer while looking at Bridget and grabs whatever she needed in there. And so we, as the audience, see this like dead, frosty body in the freezer, and the mom's not even looking.
No.
And it's just like, oh, my heart was like, because then, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to kill their parents? Like, what's going to happen next? But she just closes the freezer then.
Let's have a quick talk. We haven't talked about the parents yet. The mom is such a bubbly, annoying person.
Yes.
She is so, not controlling, but she's very, not even demanding. She wants her daughters to kind of be like her.
Yes.
She wants to be such a part of their life that when Ginger has her period, she's all, oh my God. And she tells you, you can see the husband and her having some issues too.
Yes, right.
But she's like, oh, I can't believe your daughter's becoming a fine young lady.
Exactly.
And Ginger can't, even Bridget can't stand their mom. The way she acts, the way she kind of babies them and try and treats them like the way they're not.
And like, you feel like as a parent, you always want your kids to fit in and not be bullied and all that stuff, but also want them to be themselves. Like, it's this pull, I think, sort of, right?
Yeah.
And like, even in the movie when her mom, I think she's talking to Bridget about something, and she's like, you guys can always talk to me and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, oh, Ginger just doesn't want, she's figuring it out on her own, and it's so nice that you give us space and stuff. And the mom's like, thanks.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard being a parent, and especially when your daughter's a werewolf, like,
Yep.
how do you grapple with that? Especially, Ugh.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Well, Teen Wolf.
Right, yes.
That's
True.
an example of...
Very true.
That's a great 80s. That's just a more comedy, non-horror.
Right.
That's a good... We should have watched that one too. Maybe next Werewolf month, we might throw on Teen Wolf. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Bridget accidentally breaks off 2 of Trina's fingers while trying to remove the corpse.
Yes.
And the fingers are misplaced while burying Trina in the tool shed. Bridget tells her sister she cannot go out anymore, but Ginger remains defiant. On Halloween, Bridget takes monk's hood purchased by her mother for a craft project and asks Sam to make the cure. Sam successfully creates a monk's hood extract.
Yeah.
While trying to track down Ginger, Bridget is attacked by Jason,
Yes.
who is infected by Ginger due to unprotected sex.
Yeah.
And she defends herself by using the monk's hood syringe on him.
Yes.
She witnesses his immediate change in behavior, which proves it is a cure.
Yay.
Yay! At school, Bridget discovered Ginger's murder of a faculty member and witnesses her killing another.
Yes.
Ginger then informs her intent to go after Sam next at the greenhouse bash, a Halloween party hosted by them, leaving Bridget alone. This faculty guy, he's this old kind of Asian janitor.
Yeah.
And Ginger's always kind of teasing Bridget that he's a perv. He's trying to look up her skirt or down her shirt and shit like that. And she just kills him. And this is a pretty, again, just a rough death for him. He gets slashed and then...
Yes. She throws him around, but he, the reason she kills him is because he walks in on the scene of her killing the teacher.
Yep.
And so she's like, so Bridget comes and finds him and she's like, what the fuck? And Ginger's like, well, he saw us, so, they have to die.
Yep.
And Bridget's like, like, come on.
Leave me alone.
Sis.
The girl's mother finds the fingers in Trina's corpse and goes looking for her daughters. She finds a running Bridget and picks her up. As she drives Bridget to the greenhouse bash, she tells her that she'll protect them at all costs. That's a good mom.
Yes.
Bridget arrives at the party to find Ginger hurting Sam for rejecting her advances.
Yes.
In despair, Bridget wounds Ginger's and her own palm and clasps her hands together, infecting herself with Ginger's blood. She convinces Ginger of her loyalty and genuine willingness to help her sister, ending their long fight. As the sisters leave, Bridget decides to abandon her mother. Bridget and Sam take Ginger back to the Fitzgerald house in his van to prepare more of the cure for her. Ginger fully transforms into a werewolf.
Yes.
On the way home and escapes the van. Now, this is a cool design.
This was a cool one.
I love this look. I always, anytime in a werewolf movie where they look like a wolf, that's not a werewolf.
Right.
When I think of a werewolf, I think of either a big hulking kind of wolf-like creature.
Yeah.
That's either on 2 legs or sometimes 4.
I think that the bipedal's better.
I do too.
Because, it just feels like more of a mash between a human and a wolf, right?
Yeah. And it's more scary.
Yes, right. Absolutely.
This is more 4-leg. But the fur is white and it's always bigger.
Right.
They're always like more snarly, huge teeth, big yellow eyes. One thing I noticed though that they mentioned in this movie, and I guess in the sequel, is how you kind of keep, you turn to a wolf, but you keep some of your human
like characteristics.
Yeah. Like when he hit the werewolf that infected Ginger.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the first time I've seen a uncircumcised werewolf.
Yes.
And I think in the sequel, one of them has like a tattoo on him. Like they kept the tattoo on the wolf. So they changed, but it's not like a complete, fully inside out change.
Right. Yeah, because like their mind basically goes. Yeah. Basically, when they turn. So it's interesting that they keep some of their physical characteristics though. That's cool.
Yeah. And as Ginger starts to turn, she gets white hair.
Yes.
She's originally like a redhead.
Yep, right.
And the wolf hair is all white.
Right.
And she's huge. It's a huge, hulking wolf.
Yes.
Aware that she has transformed, Sam and Bridget hide in the pantry as Sam makes a cure. When he goes to find Ginger, a transformed Ginger attacks and drags him away. After finding Sam injured and bloody, she tries to save him by drinking his blood to calm Ginger, but is unable to go through with it. Ginger senses Bridget's revulsion and insincerity, and she kills Sam in front of Bridget.
Yes. That was so sad.
Yeah.
I felt sad-faced about that, because they were actually, because the whole time, they were just trying to help her. Right?
But the wolf kind of took over, and
exactly.
The wolf won.
Yeah.
As Ginger stalks Bridget through the basement, Bridget returns to the room where they grew up. Bridget defends herself while holding the syringe in one hand and a knife in the other. Ginger lunges at Bridget and into the knife, fatally wounding herself. Looking at pictures taken of both sisters throughout their adventures on the wall, Bridget lies her head upon her dying sister's chest and sobs.
Yes.
The end.
Yeah. It was a sad ending.
It was.
I wasn't, I genuinely thought that they were gonna, that she was gonna cure her and then they were gonna, be locked up or something. But at least they'd be together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's it's one of those endings where it's I want to know what happens next, though. You know what I mean? I want to know, so now the mom is, complacent to them killing people. And, what
Yep.
happens about the faculty members? Like, does a school get shut down? What about Sam? Like, lots of loose ends.
There is. But, whatever. It's
Yeah,
the story's about them, not kind of
course.
anything else. Like
course.
the sisters was the main focus,
right.
and they got what they kind of wanted.
Exactly, yes.
I think Bridget would have killed herself in the end because of the
agree.
pact, and
And that's what I thought might have been coming, is that, then she's
Yeah.
going to...
because also she has a cure with her.
yeah,
She could cure
very-
herself because she's
exactly.
infected too.
Yeah, very
And-
Romeo and Juliet, sort of.
And when and this is a very, not gross, but just wild scene, kind of a little disturbing. When
Yeah.
Sam's there, he's like hunched, slumped against the wall, bleeding all over.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Ginger, she's all growly, and Bridget, starts scooping out the blood and licking it.
Yes.
Scoop the blood, lick, and she tries, but she can't keep it down.
No.
For someone who I went through something similar, I had tonsils out and they hemorrhaged, and the blood basically went right down to my stomach.
Nope.
The human body cannot take that much blood in its stomach.
Nope.
It did not stay. So
No.
she puked it up, and it's just, she tried. She did try.
Yes.
But,
She did her best, but just nope.
and
Nope,
it,
nope,
you're not sure if Ginger was going to kill her or just bite her and kind of, bite her. Who knows?
Right. Yeah.
It's implied she's going to go attack and kill, but
Yes.
how much of Ginger's left in there?
Exactly.
There's a few questions left over, but
Yeah.
for a horror movie, it's a good horror movie.
It is. Yeah. 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 I did enjoy it. It was good. It was just like, I would have enjoyed it more if I think I watched it as a teenager.
Yeah.
Like I
You
think I
could
would have
more
related more.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
But overall-
out of 5, how would you give it?
I would probably give it like a 3.
Yeah, I would too.
I love that it's Canadian. I like the story and what they did with it, the different kinds of ways you can transmit it, like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. I thought it was cool and inventive.
Oh yeah. I'd give it 3.5.
You'd give 3.5?
3.5. It's a good horror movie. The characters are great. Bridget and Ginger, like
Really good.
when they're looking for the leads.
Yep.
They had a hard time finding leads until they both came at the same time.
Yep.
The actresses, they both grew up together. They went to the same school.
Cool.
They auditioned on the same day, and they got hired on the same day.
Oh, that's cute.
And so they were just perfect.
For what they were, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah, the acting was really, really well done.
It was.
The music was so good. It was like 90s grunge.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was so good.
Yeah.
It's very nostalgic, of course, because it would have been, if it came out in 2000, it would have been filmed in the 90s. So, I need that in my life.
Oh yeah. And it's a good different take of the werewolf
Yeah.
mythos, where it's not just a bite that can transform you. It's sex as well.
Yeah.
It's got the gore. It's got the
Right.
blood, which is needed in horror movies.
Right. Yeah.
It's got a few good jump scares. Nothing major, but it's
Yeah.
out there. A little bit of uneasiness.
Yeah.
The
Creepy.
kills are pretty good.
Yeah. Suspenseful parts of it.
Yep. Great effects. It's the director was so against CGI.
Yes, which
He-
always is amazing.
He was 100%. He's doing puppetry and animatronics.
Yeah.
And he didn't care how long extra it took. That was
Perfect.
his goal. That was his vision, and he went through with it. And I give major kudos to that.
Definitely, because it also that it doesn't age the movie as much. I always think as well, right? Just because we've watched for this even movies that have done CGI in the early 2000s or late 90s, and as good as it is, it just never ages well. It's just just because of the time, the technology is just never as good. But and there are cases where it looks fine, but 20 years from now even it'll still be unfortunately not perfect. But I just think that practical effects age so much better.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, just some prosthetics and fake blood and puppets and always good.
Yeah, because actually there's a movie that we're going to review later on.
Yeah.
In 97 that had
Okay.
CGI.
Sure.
And I'll explain it's in 2 weeks. I'll explain what it is. But It's you can see the CGI is a bit dated.
Yes,
a little bit.
Of course.
And I think it would have been better if they kept with the animatronics, but whatever.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah,
you
we'll
know?
talk about that when we get to it, but
Yeah.
you'll see what I mean when we watch it.
I'm excited now.
Oh,
I don't
good.
even know which. You'll have to tell me when we stop recording which one it is.
I will.
Okay, good.
But
Cool.
but next week, or right after this, we'll be, because of our lovely, just recording shitty schedule.
Whoop, whoop.
We're gonna next week is no, I can't do it yet. We gotta do the Kill the Flick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Oh
kill
my
the
God.
flick, kill the flick.
Hey, come on, Kill the Flick. It's been a
Icky's
while.
already been squeaking and barking. She'll be mad if we miss
Yes,
it.
she would. So what do you think the Kill the Flick was? That Icky told you.
Well, I forget. Consensus on it. Was it the end? The end.
It was Sam's death.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
Sam got the
Yes.
Kill the Flick because
Oh my god.
he was a rough, drawn out death. He got
Yes.
kind of bit and dragged and lost screaming.
Lots.
Bridget was hiding in the cupboard when it happened.
Yeah.
And then when she found him, he was still alive, but
Mm-hmm.
very badly hurt.
Yes.
And when she's trying to drink the blood, and Ginger's like that's good girl, but Bridget's like blah, and she's like oh no, she's like fuck you, no, and just chomped and I think she snapped Sam's neck.
Yes.
But just
yes.
it was just a very, very brutal death. Kind of quick, but it was also just.
But she plays
brutal.
with him a bit too because she does that with the janitor too. Like he's not completely dead when Bridget finds him.
Yeah, she bites his side.
What?
Like she just tears his side right open.
Yes.
So that's the Ichabod Kill the Flick.
Whoop whoop.
There we go.
Yeah. There. Now.
Now next week.
Next week.
Next episode is this is more of a classic.
Yes, one of the, if not the best werewolf movie around.
Yes, An American Werewolf in London.
Woo.
Werewolf in London.
So is that like the theme song that you keep singing?
No, it's an old song. I'll play it for you after.
Okay,
it's
good.
An old. I really love this song. I'll look it up and I'll play it for that episode.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a great movie. I think I've only seen the ending of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh.
But it really set the bar for werewolf movies.
It's an 80s movie, isn't it?
I think it's 70s.
Is it 70s? Okay.
Don't quote me.
When I look up like best werewolf movies, American Werewolf in London is always top of the list.
81.
81.
I thought it was 79. It's 81, but it's early 80s.
For sure.
But it's really just for designs, for again animatronics,
Yes.
for effects. It is phenomenal, and people say this is one of the best werewolf transformations ever.
Yes. I've seen it. I've seen clips of the whole
So
movie,
have I.
so I know the synopsis. I know all the clips. I know the ending.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm excited to actually see it all put together.
Yeah, same here.
Whoop whoop, and we're gonna go watch it right now.
Right now, right now.
But thank you so much for joining us. This episode was brought to you by our loud executive producer, Ichabod. We hope you enjoyed your Horr-Gasm as much as we did. Please don't forget to rate, download, and subscribe. Also, like and follow us on Facebook at Horr-Gasm Podcast, Instagram at Horr-Gasm, Twitter at Gasm Horror, and YouTube at the Horr-Gasm Podcast. If you have a movie you'd like us to review, this is the best way to let us know. We hope to see you again next week because we have such sights to show you. Plenty of Horr-Gasms for you to experience. Bye!
Later.